Hey, it's Travis. Too many camp directors run just on gut feel. Our free Resilient Camp Blueprint Diagnostic is your dashboard for resilience. Take it today at camp.mba/Travis. Again, that's camp.mba/Travis. Has the world's attitude about artificial intelligence changed so much that now Chris uses it every day?
This is CampHacker. Come find our show notes and our blog for camp directors and leaders at camphacker.tv.
Why spend hours on your schedules only to find mistakes and missed activities for your campers? Let Camptivities do the heavy lifting and help you create the best schedules yet, without the mistakes and in less time. Come check out Camptivities, specifically designed for camps by camp people. Find out more at camptivities.com.
Remember what sparked your passion for camp? Ultra Camp knows it's about the people, not the paperwork. That's why they built a platform to simplify your camp management. Learn more at ultracampmanagement.com/camphacker. Hello, Camp Mavericks, and welcome to the CampHacker podcast, brought to you by Ultra Camp, Camptivities, and campbot.org. I'm Travis Allison. I'm a summer camp consultant who specializes in getting camp parents to tell their friends about how outstanding you are just because you're so good at communicating with them.
And my name is Chris Hudson. I'm also a summer camp consultant, youth development expert, and fantastic person. Like, really, get to know me. I'm amazing.
I like how you lean into your mic for your intro.
Yeah.
Your voice gets deeper and you get leany. That's awesome.
I love it. I don't know.
Welcome to the second episode of the season, everybody. We're excited to be with you. If you're watching this on YouTube, Chris and I did not record these back to back. We actually went and put on the same shirts as the last episode.
Yeah.
And
my hair looks exactly the same. I made sure it grew out to exactly the same length as well. Yeah.
It's a good cooperation between you and your barber. Before we get into the topic, I wanted to say reviews are very important to podcasts. It helps them get seen by others. And just to make it easy, we use a service that puts reviews out on all the different things because all the platforms now want you to do independent reviews. But if you go to ratethispodcast.com/camp, click on the ratings and review buttons, you can leave us a review there. So Chris and I were talking, getting ready for this season, and Chris kept saying, ChatGPT, ChatGPT, ChatGPT. If you recall, listeners, in January, we did a show with Jack and MJ about AI and its effect on camp. And one of the four of us was most uncomfortable with AI.
Cautious. I think we should cautious.
Yeah.
But that caution has now been thrown to the wind. I, for one, welcome our new AI overlords, and I want them involved in every part of our life. So let's talk about it.
There you go. I said something then I want to echo. I believe that AI will be a net positive for people that work managing summer camp. And I worry that it'll be a net negative for the people that can afford to pay for their children to go to summer camp. I think that those jobs are at risk of being lost to AI. And I think we need to watch for that and be sensitive to it and be thinking about it.
Okay. Can I just respond to that before we drill down into camp applications of that?
Yeah.
I have listeners, since last we did the podcast, I've really educated myself about AI and exactly what it is. Artificial intelligence is such a misnomer for what's actually happening on the back end of that thing. I know everyone's like, oh no, Skynet, Terminator's coming. We are so far away from that because these things, it's not really intelligent. It's not really thinking. It's really just suggesting to you what is most likely to make sense. All right. So I want to start that way. I'm not going to say that the fears about AI have been overblown because really smart and powerful people say that they are not. And I'm going to listen to them because they're smarter than me. But on this level that we're at right now for this current generation, I don't think it's actually going to supplant anyone's job soon. I think Generation Alpha coming up, I think they're going to have a challenge with a whole new economic situation and marketplace. However, that's always true. So sometimes I wonder lately if the concerns about AI in this way, as you're
Mm,
putting it, are a little overblown, just a
mm,
little.
mhm.
I think there's going to be a lot of things that open up. I mean, people said the same thing with personal computers. People said the same thing with the
Yep.
internet, and
Yep.
yet somehow we're still here moving about our lives. So I think some jobs will be threatened, just like nuclear power, like threatened coal jobs. I think
Yeah.
that's definitely going to be a thing. But for the most part, I think people are going to adapt. It's just a tool. It is not as good as a human being, believe me. And we can get into that because I now use it for everything or try to. It is just not as good as a human being, and the limitations are obvious. With that, let's dive into the camp stuff. Yeah.
So
So,
if we acknowledge that there are lots of things wrong with AI,
mhm,
which I think people talk about. I don't want to spend a lot of time there, not because I'm scared of the topic, just because I think it gets talked about a lot.
mhm.
I want to look at this as how this can make you more effective at your job as a camp director. And I believe that that's true. There are lots of studies that say that people who use artificial intelligence, like ChatGPT, in their work are 30% more efficient. So that means if you have 3 people on your team and you're using ChatGPT, you've effectively hired a whole other person.
It's dramatic when you say it like that.
That's
That's
why I think
awesome.
it's the net benefit to us. We're not looking at it enough like that because I think, and I was on the Camp Owners Pod talking about this. It's a big topic for me, and I've done a lot of work and research on it in the last 18 months. The AI gives us the power to get the BSy stuff off our desk
Yeah.
so that we can focus on care, so that we can spend more time, doing the part of camp work that sort of mission focused. I'm uncomfortable with the word mission sometimes, but like
Mhm.
the mission focused reasons why we got into camp and take some of the BSy stuff off of our plate. That the number of times I hear camp directors say, all I did was answer emails today.
I love that, and I now agree. I
Hmm.
now agree. My journey with AI has been like, I have been asking it to do absolutely anything that I'm doing. I pass it through
Yeah.
ChatGPT
Yep.
first just to see if it can help me do it.
Yep.
Now, without giving all the details, like you said, we don't have to talk about its capabilities. There's some things it's just not very good at. And a lot of that has to come with reasoning. I had a very stern conversation with ChatGPT. I call my ChatGPT, I call him Diego, and he answers to it.
Okay.
So I had a very stern conversation with Diego that he should not infer, guess, or extrapolate about data
Oh yeah. Yep.
because that is actually what ChatGPT does all the time.
Hmm.
It's just sort of guesses and it will make up things because
Right.
it's likely to make sense, even if it's incorrect.
Yeah.
Right. And that's a really important thing to understand about it, especially if you wanted to do something that's fact-based or research, it's likely just to make things up. I had to be very stern, be like, do not extrapolate, do not infer. And
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
still, almost cannot do it.
Right.
The best I can get to do is like, I need you to print the sources of any factual thing you tell me. Tell me precisely where you found that information. And he can do that like 50% of the time.
Right.
So, but in no means is it sort of like, it's not omniscient in
Right.
that way.
Right.
But like you said, all of the routinized BSy stuff, as you put it, ChatGPT is going to make camp directors, I mean, the preseason, it's going to be so much easy. Well, I just thought about this. Bunking boards, the way that
So,
the way that 3 adults,
oh
2 to 3 adults get together
yeah.
every spring, get all the applications for the kids, and they say who they want to bunk with,
Oh yeah.
and then we have a giant board with
A murder
index
board.
cards, and
Yep.
we yeah, murder board, and we move it
Yep.
around.
Yep.
The way that that is going to be done in about 30 seconds,
Yep.
forgive me, but I'm horny for that. That's going to be incredible. That
Yep.
will easily save, it used to be me, it's going to be
Yep.
someone else this year.
Yep.
It will
Yep.
easily save someone an hour of time, 1 full man hour of time. And that's,
Right. And that's per week. So
yeah.
because highlights a 1 week session, a 1 week
Yep.
camp. So that is per week
Hmm.
of good, smart people with very valuable education
Hmm.
who had to spend at least an hour trying to fit kids into
Just
cabins
moving
based on
index
requests.
cards around, be like, oh, Rex doesn't want to be with Mandy. Okay, well, but
Mm,
it was one huge logic problem that
mm,
now is going to be done in the blink of an eye. I
yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
And like you said about writing emails, and you and I have talked about this a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
AI, and you should talk about it now, but AI is trained, you can train it to receive, read, and respond to emails.
Yep.
That is chef's kiss.
Hmm.
Chef's kiss. Because I know that our internet sucks at camp. And
Right.
having to respond to those emails, to go down to the office at 1 a.m., which is when I have time
Hmm.
to respond to
Hmm.
emails, is nothing I want to do.
Yeah.
Nothing I want to do.
Right.
But there's all corners of camp that AI could make easy.
Right.
Some of them great ideas. Some of them I think could get a little controversial, but yeah.
So in terms of tools, I want to talk specific about uses because I've been thinking about them a lot, and there's a lot I'm very excited about.
Mhm.
In terms of tools, my most frequent used one is at perplexity.ai.
Yeah.
And I have used that one and I pay for that. I pay $200 a year for that. Perplexity does a couple of things well. It has an extra layer of logic when you pay for the pro version. But
Mhm.
even without the pro version, it shows you its work. It footnotes everything it sends you.
That's
And
great.
so you can see, you can go in and double check and make sure the inference that it does make is what it's actually, based on that thing. And that's getting better all the time.
Mhm.
The other thing that I use Perplexity for, and any other thing, as I talked about in the opening, I have started a website at campbot.org that is going to we're going to keep building, that will give specific AI bots for specific needs of camp directors getting started. The thing that I use in Perplexity all the time is personas. So
Yeah.
I have it built in so that I know how it talks to, because I'm doing communication for camps all the time, marketing or after sales or all of that stuff. So I can plunk in the general instructions. So I have I call it the parent whisperer, and I
Mhm.
give it all these instructions. And then for every client, I can create a copy of that and put in the specific of their parents. And the same with, I have one called I don't know if it's probably Whisperer because I'm not old, but it's basically a Gen Z Whisperer
Mhm.
that I put in, you're an expert in hiring, retaining, and recruiting Gen Z for
Mhm.
work. And I give it the problems and it helps me make a plan, spit out the drafts of the communication, etc.
I love that.
That is a tool that I use every day in one of those. Because of my job and selling that I do, I have a camp director whisperer built
Mhm.
that I put through all the ideas that I want to figure out how to market to people with the very unique and special needs
Mhm.
of being unique needs of being a camp director so that I can help people understand what we're creating to help camp directors. Exclusive to CampHacker listeners. Generate fresh ideas for activities, staff training, marketing campaigns, and more with UltraCamp's plug-and-play AI prompt guide. Download it for free at ultracampmanagement.com/camphacker. You need tools that work as hard as you do. UltraCamp's platform is packed with powerful features, keeping your camp running smoothly and efficiently so you can focus on what truly matters. With UltraCamp's powerful tools, you're in control. Automate tasks like registration and billing, easily manage authorized pickups, create custom payment plans for your camp, generate reports to get key insights, and streamline hiring with built-in background checks. Get back to what you love. UltraCamp helps you spend less time on admin tasks and more time creating unforgettable camp experiences. Ready to see if UltraCamp is the perfect fit? Schedule your free personalized demo at ultracampmanagement.com/camphacker.
Every year, it's the same thing. Lots of hours spent working on the daily schedules, only for there to be mistakes, missed activities, and lots of stress. Why is it so difficult? There's got to be a better way. And there is. Camptivities, an activity scheduler made specifically for camps. Group scheduling or camper scheduling, we've got you covered. Different day schedules, no problem. Auto scheduling, elective scheduling, batch scheduling. Schedule the way that works for your camp. With over 60 reports, you'll be able to see the data easily. When a parent calls and says, my camper didn't get an activity week 1, pull up the group activity tracker and see exactly when that activity was scheduled all summer long. Modernize the way you do activity scheduling. Make it easier to collaborate with team members, get rid of the mistakes, and make sure your campers are getting to all of your activities. We'd love to show you the next big thing in camp. Don't wait until the new year. Now's the time to find a better way to schedule and save 15% for the first year. Let us help you get away from your desk and back out in camp. Visit camptivities.com to set up a time to chat. I have been thinking a lot about staff. You brought up hiring and recruiting staff. There's so much to be done there. Training staff. A lot of my consulting is around training of staff, supervising of staff. The way that AI can help your staff, it can run scenarios with your staff. There was at training years ago, we stopped doing this, but we used to have a segment of our training called, I think it was called Carousel of Nightmares.
Yes.
And you're like, go on. In Carousel of Nightmares, the veteran staff, they would go into specific cabins and they'd set up a scene. And then the new staff, it was hazing. It basically was hazing everyone. We'd haze the new staff. They would go to a particular cabin. They had no idea what they were walking into. And the veteran staff would role play either children or their parents at pickup, let's say, and just create a scene. And the scene was really aggressive. And the new person had to figure out how to handle it, right? And then they would get feedback on that. It was part hazing. It was partly done for laughs, but the role-playing aspect was absolutely real. You know what you can do with AI is you can instruct AI to act like it's a 9-year-old child who has these particular issues and brings it to the counselor, and the counselor can in real time, especially ChatGPT has a voice function, can actually talk out that scenario, and then you can give feedback on that.
Yep.
Or people can do that on their own, or even the AI can give feedback back to the staff member.
Yeah.
I mean, when I thought about that, my mind was blown because especially because, and I've heard this all summer, all the camps I was at this summer, interviewing the staff, they all felt like they were unprepared. Every staff member I talked to thought they were unprepared for this summer. But when I asked them, would you come 2 more days earlier for training? None of them could. I was like, well, here we are. How do we solve this problem? This is one way we could solve it. They can do this on their own multiple times over multiple issues with multiple quote unquote children. I don't know. That's the one aspect of that I think was be really fantastic. As far as like hiring, recruiting, I haven't really thought about how that could go, but it's just because I'm trying to open up my mind to the possibilities here.
Well, this is stuff we've built in. This is stuff we've built for clients, is because it's communication. And that's where my brain is always all the time. Like, how can we break down lots of information so that people can get it? So you can give information to parents in various formats, and you can use AI to make the videos or write the scripts and voice them, and you put camp pictures behind it, whatever. That's all possible. And it can also give you like the reinforcements. Sending out a text 3 days ahead and saying, on Wednesday, we're going to send out an email, and it's got all the details of what everybody needs to complete to get their health forms in on time. And it can write those emails too, and you can just change the tone. This sounds really snarky, which is also, I've been lucky enough to guest on lots of podcasts already this year. I mentioned goblin.tools on my Camp Code when I was there, and it is something where you can take an email or a text, put it in there, and I think it's called the judge. It'll tell you if that what you've written is too snarky or too wishy-washy, or like it'll give you some of those things and it'll help you rewrite them. So yes, anyway, you can do these things. The one I was thinking about, Chris, with scenarios is you can write the general scenario and say, here's this. Give me 4 levels of difficulty with this scenario. So that I can basically draw a card. If this is a first-time counselor, has done your LAT program, they get the level 2, but has not done any LAT program, they get the level 1. And it can generate 4 different scenarios off one prompt. You can have it read it to you, or you could send them the script, whatever. But with just that one thing, you've got 4 different degrees of difficulty built right in.
Man. And you talked about replacement of jobs. And as a staff trainer myself, I hesitate to say this, but taken to another level, so much of your training can be replaced. individually or group, maybe not replace,
Yeah.
but heavily guided by AI.
Right. Yep.
Just make the individual attention that you're talking about,
Mm.
the way that you can target specific
Yep.
things to specific levels of ability or experience.
Yeah.
You can do that across the board along every dimension of your
Totally.
staff, like waterfront staff versus archery staff versus cabin staff, or like it. You can just build all these models
Mhm.
out and deliver the information that I feel that young people today really need to be
Right. Right.
successful at
Yep.
camp counseling.
Yep.
We don't have to get into all that, but I feel like I feel like this generation really could benefit from doing more either role play or experiential things that
Mhm.
AI can provide
Mm.
without the manpower of having, like, as with
Yep.
Carousel of Nightmares, a cast of about a dozen people putting on a show for them.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm really looking forward to that cautiously because I still want to make a living as a staff
Sure.
trainer, but I
Yep.
am really because listen, truth is, Travis, it's made my job easier
Yeah. Yeah.
as a presenter and a speaker.
Yep.
So many times, excuse me, so many times I'll get halfway through a module and I'll be like, man, what's the logical next step? And I just
Mm.
copy all my notes into ChatGPT and
Mhm.
ask it,
Mhm.
this is what I'm trying to accomplish. What's the logical next step?
Yep.
Now, all the time, I can't take it verbatim as it's the output,
Yeah.
but 7 times out of 8, it helps me, it guides my thinking so I can finish quicker.
Just get you moving.
It is it is and can it do it? Can it do the whole thing? Yeah, it can do the whole thing whole cloth for you. And the more specific you are at the request, the better the output's gonna get.
Yep.
ChatGPT, like anything else, just like at the dawn of the internet,
Mhm.
how to internet search
Yeah.
is a skill that people
Right.
had to figure out exactly what terms would get them the best result.
Mm.
ChatGPT is similar in that it is definitely a skill to figure out how to get the output that you need.
So, this is not my tool of the week, but I'm throwing it in the middle because it's such a good tool.
Okay.
I'm just going to find it right now. There is a tool that helps you write prompts. It's by one of the big schools, big colleges. It's called the React app. It is a format where you just tell it a couple things and it will create, because prompting, which is the putting your information in to get the AI to give you an output back, that
Mhm.
is the skill that Chris is talking about, figuring out prompting. If you will put this in the notes, it's from MIT. It is a formula that you can put stuff into, or just that will break all the stuff down and cue you to give it all the extra details that will make a better answer. Because if you just say you could, it'll give you an answer to write a 5-day staff training for my overnight summer
Mhm.
camp, and
Mhm.
it'll do it, but it won't be good. But if you give it the right prompting details, and
Mhm.
then you get it better. So this MIT thing that we'll put in the notes, you has basically, it's a 6-step to create a prompt, and it'll pick and it'll spit out just the prompt. You copy and paste that into whatever AI you're using.
Mhm.
And so that can make it better for you, give you the details. The other hint I was going to say that I've done often, if there's somebody who, a writer or speaker whose format or their special thing is, you kind of want to frame it within that, you can say, go look at the work of Donald Miller
Mhm.
in the story brand stuff. Here are all the videos I want you to consult. Now, help me use that formula to sell this new program at my camp. You
Mhm.
could do Joan Geary, who's famous board person, nonprofit board person. You could say, and I'm sure even this is, I haven't even looked this up, but I know it's there for Donald Miller. It's probably there for someone like Joan. People build what they call GPTs, which is
Mhm.
they give a set of instructions and record it and host it on ChatGPT. Is very specific. So give me the Joan Geary bot of how to deal with the situation in my board.
Wow.
And it just kicks it out in her style because her style's known. She's written about it a lot.
Yeah.
That does mean that there's going to be a Chris Hudson bot. If
It's
someone
it
takes the
does
time,
hit
yeah, I
me.
mean, you don't have stuff as much written,
Uh,
but if someone takes the time to go through all of our podcasts, I'm okay with that. Really, I
if it's
want people to know
monetizable,
how good your ideas are and
if
think,
it
well, this is great, but I really need getting answers from ChatGPT in the style of Chris Hudson is getting 12% of Chris Hudson.
I mean, again, it's not intelligence.
Yeah.
because what the model would do in that case is pull transcripts of what it can of like this podcast or anything that I've written,
Yeah.
and then guess at a very high level about what kind of sentence would I put together that would make sense.
Yeah.
Just make sense, not be true, not be accurate, not even be that great advice. It just
Yeah.
would make sense to a reader. Can't tell you how many times I have to challenge ChatGPT and say, "Is that correct?" And it'll
Right.
be like, "Oh, absolutely not. It's not correct." And I'm
Yes.
like, "Why would you write that?" Well, I inferred. Don't infer. Okay, and it will do it anyway.
Yeah.
It's ChatGPT wants to please. I want to say just something you said that sparked this. I was talking to a friend who does a lot of career coaching,
Mm.
and she said she's working on this thing where career coaches, they load their model of the way they
Mm. Mhm. Mm.
coach into a GPT.
Yeah.
So then people can subscribe to you,
Mhm. Mhm. Totally.
and the GPT company makes the money, but also you get money because it's your
Yeah.
likeness is the wrong word,
Yeah, but
but
it's
it's
the
your
way you look at things.
yeah. And so in that way, because I when she told me this, I was like, she's like, Chris, think about it. It's like you only have so much time in the day.
Yeah.
But if you could have 120 coaching clients,
Sure. Well, it's an easy way for people to access you who may not be able to afford to
exactly.
pay your hand-holding
Mhm.
individual attention rate.
Or people who can't afford to fly me out and put me up and do all
Totally.
that stuff
Yeah.
for an hour-long workshop.
Mhm.
And as long as it's monetizable, as long as people like me are getting paid, that's fine. Again, like I said earlier in this podcast or another one, but like the economics of every generation changes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like my parents, if they were alive today, they would not understand the gig economy.
Mhm.
They
Yeah.
just, it's beyond them.
Yeah.
Just like I will not be able to understand the economy. Just like, I mean, as it were, like it took me a while to understand the OnlyFans economy that young people are making a ton of money. I mean,
Yes, okay, yeah.
I'm just saying, like the amount of people in their 20s who are online selling whatever it is that they're selling.
Sure.
I'm like, huh, 20 years ago, that would not be a thing. So economy keeps changing. And I think AI is going to drive that as well.
Yeah.
I don't want to be afraid of it. We do have to be cautious. But as when it comes to camp, there's a lot of things that, what I was thinking about, Travis,
Mhm. Mhm.
pictures, the way that these parents are like
Need pictures.
vampirically hungry for pictures. AI could just pick out the pictures of your child and send it to you at the end of every day.
Yes.
Leave me alone.
Not only that, not just all of the pictures of my kid,
Yeah.
it can go through ahead of time and take out all the pictures of my kid that's blurry and
Hmm.
all the pictures of my kid where their eyes are closed.
Yes. Yeah.
Like the amount of
Or,
time that camps waste on sorting friggin' photos in the world,
oh,
that is done.
yeah. Oh, do you want to talk about what 8 to 12 hours of my year is? Going
Yes.
through 7,000 pictures and
Yeah.
eliminating the,
Yeah.
I
I
can't.
when I do camp marketing photos, I regularly shoot 4,000 photos a day.
Hmm. Yeah.
And having that even just do its first pass of get rid
Mhm.
of stuff for me saves an incredible amount of time.
It is. I just received camp highlight pictures last night,
From
and
yeah. Yeah.
it's from this past year,
Yeah.
and I'm going through like delete, 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 and I was like, Jesus, this is. But AI can help me with that. Like any picture where a child's face is not visible, get rid of it.
Yep.
Any picture where this particular child is not smiling, do
Yeah.
not include it in the package we're sending to that parent. It can be
Right.
that specific. Marketing
Yeah.
wise, it will save you so much time. Pictures are the one thing it's really hard to manage. That is something that could just be taken off your plate.
The one that I use is called the app that I use for photos, which is a constant problem for camps, is called Aftershoot. And you
Yeah.
can find the links to that in the show notes. I just sent them to you, Chris. I'm putting them in the
Mhm.
notes for Matt.
Thank you.
And that AI just sorting photos and labeling them for blurry or eyes closed,
Mhm.
I think it's $100 a year.
Worth it.
Yeah,
Worth it. My
because
time is worth
camp
that.
directors don't understand enough what the value of 1 hour of their time is to their organization. They just don't.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to using AI this year. It used to be, Travis, it used to be 2 complete days 2
Yeah.
complete days, 2 complete
But this
work
is per
days.
week, everybody. Like, recalling
Yes.
again, this is for a week of camp. Agreed.
Looking through pictures, selecting which ones for the yearbook, which
Yeah.
one for the
Yeah.
internet.
Yeah.
And like, especially we have to do that at camp because like I said, parents are horny for pictures of their kids. We have to do it at camp, at night. Like
Yeah.
it, and
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
AI could just do it without us even knowing about it.
Totally. That's so here's the thing that gets really interesting. It's
Mhm,
not here yet, but I will be here by next summer.
mhm,
Camp photographers upload things to a folder. Oh, everybody dumps the cards onto a folder.
mhm,
Right now, you'd have to select all those photos, put them into Aftershoot, that app, and then you hit a button to start the cull, and then it would come back. Culling meaning taking the photos out that aren't any good, and it would
mhm,
come back in a certain amount of time later, like less than an hour. And then you go through and make final decisions. Or take and output those photos into something else that you can upload to whatever you use for your yearbook.
mhm,
What's coming next is called agents. So anything that goes into that folder goes through all of those steps, and you just get presented. You get an email in the morning. It says, here's the 50 photos that I believe are the best highlights of all the stuff you gave me. Approve those. And you've still got all the other photos. You can go back. You can
mhm,
do ones like not the highlights, but the good ones that you use for other stuff, like the
mhm.
photos of the kids for the parents. Here's what happens. The agent will separate the photos. Here, camp, here are the photos that you get for marketing this year because you've given me the criteria of what we need
Wow.
for marketing photos, which is much different than the proof of life photos that parents want. And so it'll fork them, split them, and then every
Mhm,
kid will automatically be identified. And in the morning, you get an email that says, click this link and just approve these final approval to send these emails out. You don't then have to even write the emails. You just hit approved and
mhm.
it will send the emails.
Love that.
That'll happen by this summer. That's some of the stuff that we're building right now. Those things that have multiple steps strewn together,
Mhm.
that's what we're building right now for camps and the
I
work that we're doing.
am blown away by that. That's gonna be so cool. And again, all I'm hearing in this conversation is how much time I get back.
More time to spend with staff and kids
Yeah, you know what I
and
mean?
parents and parents.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly, but it's the one thing I used to miss at camp is during camp, the administrative stuff that we had to do
Yeah.
directly took us away from the kids,
Yep.
and it was grunt work. It
Mhm.
was like collecting a bunch of work, going through papers after papers, checking off even just like registration, who ordered a sweatshirt, who paid for it, who didn't. Like we asked these questions constantly and they could just be answered by an AI model instantly. Like okay, we've been really like gung ho about this, and I know people are listening who do have concerns. I want to talk about this for a second. The first one being privacy. I understand that everyone's really concerned about privacy, and what I'm about to say, I don't mean to poo-poo that. I just want to point out we. Oh boy, I'm going to sound like one of those. The amount of information that you are already sharing with a variety of corporations and government institutions is staggering. It's staggering. It's far more than sharing your camper list, their names, what cabin they're in, and what their allergies are. I don't think it's going to really shift the needle. I don't think it's going to violate HIPAA laws if you're in the US. I think you'll be
The allergy
okay.
stuff will.
What's that?
The allergy stuff will. But photos of kids to have it scanned.
But but even still, like any of that, because I heard you say before, like if you made a persona to respond to parent emails,
Yeah.
it can be specific to a child
That
or a
child.
family's
Yeah.
stuff. People are very concerned about privacy. Where
Of
this
course.
information going to end up? I
Yep.
think that's a question we should always ask
Yep.
because I think that, yes, we are giving up a lot of data, but I think it's always worthwhile to ask the question. But I will say, and this is just my opinion, feel free to disagree with me. I will say, oh my God, this is so controversial. The amount of time that it saves me and the team, it's worth it. It
Because I
would be
look after your
worth it.
kids better.
Yeah, because I am gonna look after your kids better. I can deliver to them more of what you're buying from
Mm.
me, and my staff will be happier. I will be happier because we will have more time to do the thing that everybody wants to do when they think about working at a camp, which
Yeah.
is interact with the kids and staff. It's
Yep.
just it's a calculated risk.
Right.
So that again, that is my opinion, but I do want to address I know people have concerns. privacy. I know people are concerned about the dehumanization at camp.
Mhm.
I don't think AIs are going to replace human beings, not in
No,
our line of work,
no,
just the way the internet didn't replace, well, it didn't replace interaction per se. It changed interaction, but it didn't replace it.
right.
So I feel like this is a similar thing. And if you do have other concerns, completely valid. But I just I just behoove you to try it. Just try it. And whatever you think it can't do, just ask it if it can do it. And then allow yourself to be pleasantly surprised.
In terms of the privacy thing, and then I have one final fun thing to leave off.
Good. Let's leave on the
But
fun.
in terms of the privacy answer, they there are AIs being built that you can run on your own computer. So it wouldn't even send it out to another server offsite to do those things. So that's coming. Also, I am I know I've heard that your camp registration databases are starting to build AI into them. So
Mhm,
you'll be able to get much smarter reports. But that means that where parents have given permission to you to share the information with the camp database company, you
mhm.
wouldn't need a separate permission to share that data with ChatGPT or OpenAI. Um, they'll have some of these tools built in. It also means we're going to be able to better communicate with staff and parents based on individual needs and wants. I know that this staff member responds to texts on Thursday nights at 11,
Mhm,
and I know that this parent likes text messages and this parent likes emails. And
mhm.
it's going to be able to, the databases will be able to do all those things. I want to leave one of those like AI is so cool things as our wrap up. Thank you, Chris,
Okay.
for acknowledging some of the real problems.
Mhm.
We could and probably should do a whole issue on the real problems with AI,
Yeah.
including the training data.
Mhm.
But here's a really cool one.
Okay. I'm ready.
Google has a study tool called Notebook LM. You can upload your staff manual to Notebook LM, and it will create a study guide to your staff manual. It will create a quiz for different sections of your staff manual, and it will create a podcast summary of all of the sections of your staff manual with two voices in the most stunningly natural language I have ever heard.
Well,
Very
I'm
conversational.
trying to take this in. So you can use your staff
You
handbook.
can give it any long PDF and it'll do all of these things, including this sort of summary podcast. So, staff manual, you could put up individual sections and it would do this, the quiz, the highlights, the study notes, and podcast. And then you could put all that together and send it out to your staff as pre-training. Like, here's this section of the manual this week. Here's the audio.
That's really incredible.
Mhm. I know a guy who's building, and this made me think, oh, I got to do this too. I just don't have time. I know a guy who is, excuse me, putting out a podcast 5 days a week that's 9 minutes long
Mhm.
that is just notes of things that he's learning from. So varied topics, and Notebook LM is going to create the podcast for him. But he's going to pull in all sorts of different, like anything he's interested in, he's pulling as many sources as possible, and then Notebook LM will synthesize it all and spit out a podcast. So that could be your parent manual, and should be a one version of
Yeah.
your parent manual. It should be a version of your staff manual because you want people who have different learning styles to absorb the material.
I It feels like we're living in the future. It feels like a jump in technological capacity,
Yeah,
and I encourage everyone to jump. It's just you can't fight the future. This is happening. It might as well be happening to your benefit. Like, get on
yeah,
the ground floor of this stuff. Like, it
yeah,
is. Can I just share something? Can I share something with you live that I just did while you were
yeah,
talking?
yeah,
Based on what you were just saying about the
yeah,
staff handbook and stuff,
yeah.
I play this card game called Marvel Champions.
Mm,
And I just asked ChatGPT in the window, I said, hey, if I upload all the rules, can you be the rules expert? And it was like, sure. So I downloaded the PDFs, loaded it up. 10 seconds later, 10 seconds later, it's like, yeah, now I know everything. Ask me anything. And I was like, this is going to cut down so much looking up rules at the
sure.
table.
Yeah.
This is going to be phenomenal. If I can do that with a card game, yeah, doing that with your staff handbook, the The parent handbook?
I know.
Wow. That would be intense.
And the nice thing about those versus the kids' privacy stuff, these are uses of things that are already out in public. It's your parent handbook, your staff handbook. It's already a public thing. You're just giving the people that you care about better tools to access that thing that you need them to access to have a successful summer.
I mean, honestly, it's just gonna make our lives easier.
Mm.
I am woe be to me if like Terminator 2 does come true and like Skynet destroys us all. I'm gonna be really embarrassed when we're in the human camps. But I will say for right now, like dive into it. I know
Yeah.
everyone I know everyone in my family is like terrified of how much I use
Yep.
this, but
Yep.
like it just you can't fight the future. You think about how people were terrified of the internet and now it's in your pocket.
Sure. Well, the amount of camp people when I started out consulting, the amount of camp people that said there will be no Facebook in my camp will not be involved in Facebook ever. Like that, I couldn't count the
Could
number of people.
could you imagine now?
Yeah,
Imagine
that just
if a camp just said, "We're not posting on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook,
mhm,
or any other platform." Well, good
yep,
luck with that.
yeah,
Yeah, good luck with that.
yeah.
All right.
Well, there you go. That's what we're going to leave you with Camp and AI in
Mhm.
recorded on the 4th of October, 2024, maybe in 6 months.
Yeah,
It's going to be
let's
like a diminishing period between AI podcasts, but there you go. Now it is time for our tool of the week.
Tool of the week.
Chris, would you care to go first this time?
I would. I'm gonna recommend something I've already recommended, but that should let you know how much I like it.
Hmm.
So I recommended a card game called Once Upon a Time. It is an improv group storytelling game. So basically what it is, and it's a bunch of people sit around, let's say 4 people, and they're like, the story starts once upon a time, and
Right.
everyone has a bunch of cards in their hand, and the cards have different elements on it, like say a witch, a cabin in the woods, or this thing can fly. And using the cards in your hand, you are trying to tell a story. You have a particular individual ending that you are trying to move the group story towards. However, the other people at the table can interrupt your story with the cards in their hand to pull the story towards their individual ending, which is called the happily ever after card. So in this, the story gets really crazy and really out there as people are pulling it in different directions until someone finally can guide the story to their ending and win the game. The game is really entertaining. Couple of things though, which is why I'm noting it here. One, and I've mentioned this several times on this podcast, I feel like this generation of camp staff, they, I want to say this, I want to be very politic. They seem to, I think they would benefit from learning how to be more flexible and more
Mm,
dynamic in
mhm,
the moment.
yep,
Because I feel like this generation has a little bit more trouble with that than
yep,
millennials did
mhm,
at staff training. I think this would be a great tool for staff training or staff meetings in the beginning. Just get everyone's juices flowing, get their minds going. And also, as a social emotional learning lesson, being
yes.
able to listen to each other
Mhm,
and like incorporate elements that other people are introducing
yep,
into your story
yep,
is just a life skill, and it's a
mhm.
communication skill that will definitely enhance your staff. So check it out. Once upon a time, and the cards, you can use them for any sort of thing. You can use them for any sort of thing because it's all different elements on the cards. Make up your own game that focuses on getting your staff to generate ideas in the moment. But I
Yeah.
would highly recommend this. I think it's a great tool.
And I wonder if you could take all the cards, put them into an AI and have it give you and the rules, and then give you unique prompts for your camp.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So,
Absolutely.
thank you. My tool of the week is a game. It's called the Match Puzzle Game on Amazon. It's very simple game with bricks and patterns, and you flip out a card on the table, and then everybody has their own sets of these blocks, not bricks, blocks, and you match the pattern. It's a race. There's 5 levels of difficulty. So at the 5th level, with the blocks that you have, there's only one solution possible. Whereas the first level, because this game says it's for kids 4 and up, And so you start at the first level, it's easy to find those patterns. So it's great that way. It is a game that you could have, like on the box, I think it says 5 players max. You could have many more players than that because more players don't slow down the game. You're not waiting for every single one of those people to take a turn, because as soon as you flip the card over, it's now a race to finish the pattern. So a different style of game because it's good for pattern matchy type of people. It has different levels of difficulty, and it is available at your friendly local game store and Amazon. That's called the Match Puzzle Game. If you go to camphacker.tv/podcast, you can find the show notes from this and all of the other CampHacker podcasts. Chris, how do people get in touch?
Just walk the streets. I'm probably hanging around your neighborhood. But if not, you can email me at chris@planetchris.net or check out what I've been up to and where I've been on Instagram at planetchris1.
Excellent. Thank you. It's a great show. Appreciate you. Before we send off, 2 things. If you have ideas or feedback or questions, Travis at gocamp.pro. I want to take just a second and highlight another GoCamp Pro podcast called Fundraising at Camp. That show is wrapped, but the content in there is so good. In fact, it is so good, I'm taking the contents of it and making it into one of the bots on campbot.org that will help you with camp fundraising planning. And it's going to be entirely fueled by fundraising at camp. So you get all that information before I finish the bot by searching for the Fundraising at Camp podcast from GoCamp Pro. Thanks for the evening, friends.
The CampHacker podcast is brought to you by Beth and Travis Allison, summer camp leadership training and marketing consultants. Thanks for listening.
Hey, Camp Pros. We love that our industry is built on sharing. In order to foster that spirit, if you've gotten even one good idea from a Go Camp Pro podcast, a masterclass, from the Summer Camp Pros group on Facebook, at a conference, or wherever else, we ask that you give credit where credit is due. That way, we can encourage camp pros to keep freely sharing their brilliant ideas and make the camp industry better. Thanks very much.
Hey, it's Travis. Camp directors often tell me they're just too tired to take on anything new. That's exactly why my free Resilient Camp Blueprint Diagnostic exists. It doesn't add work, it shows you progress. Quick, free, repeatable, you'll know if your systems are paying off without the guesswork. Try it today at camp.mba/Travis. That's camp.mba/Travis.